Everyone expected Robert Griffin III and Andrew Luck to be good, but nobody predicted they'd be this good as rookies, and more importantly, that their teams would be on the brink of the playoffs. Well, the Colts are already in, and the Redskins are in with a win in Week 17, but it just hasn't been those two quarterbacks. They've had big supporting casts from players that you might not have heard of, and that's what Eric at home talked about in Shorts and Shells this week. And Eric, let's start with Washington. This is a team that lost two key defensive players earlier in the season, and Griffin's had a lot of help from guys that, not pretty average players.
Yeah, I think you set it up perfectly, Kevin. I mean, just the fact that, Griffin has been special. He's been a difference maker. There's no question he makes up for a lot of shortcomings on this team. The fact is, you've got a 6th-round pick who's been so great in the backfield in Alfred Morris. You've got an offensive line that's stuck together and held together all season long, and yet they have a guy like Maurice Hurt come off the bench and play a pivotal role in Week 16. You have these receivers, this mixed group that when Pierre Garçon was out, they stepped up and made plays. Fred Davis's injury could have torn this offense apart. They haven't allowed it to do so. Secondary is still shaky in my book, and that's the whole point about these teams, that they do have their weak spots, but they've been able to overcome them and win a number of games this year.
And obviously, it helps when you have a quarterback like Griffin who can make the plays that he makes to overcome some of those things. That's what the Colts have had with Andrew Luck. You can keep in mind, Indianapolis has found themselves behind in a lot of these games, and Luck has brought them back with guys like T.Y. Hilton, Vic Ballard, who was maybe a third-string running back before the season, kind of a patchwork offensive line. Defense, the cornerbacks has been a bit of a revolving door for Indianapolis, but they, like the Redskins, have had these guys come out of nowhere to step up and really help Andrew Luck and get them to a shocking playoff berth.
Now, you mentioned that offensive line, guys like A.Q. Shipley and Mike McGlynn. I mean, parts that other teams didn't want to have anything to do with. You talk about the secondary. I know they've had their warts, but Joe LaFege jumps on a fumble today and maybe gets a bad call against him in the end zone, but I mean, a big player. Jarrell Freeman, guy hadn't played in the league since 2008, comes in and makes a huge contribution. Good against the run. I know they weren't great against the run in Week 16, but 10 tackles led the team this week. So all the contributions combined, it's just amazing to see how these rosters were constructed and how they've gotten to this point with all the winning they've done.
Now the big question is, let's assume for the point of this video that Washington does make the playoffs.
Yep.
So you got the Redskins and Colts with these two rookie quarterbacks. It's always tough in the postseason when you're a rookie. And then these supporting casts that maybe wouldn't be starting on the Green Bay Packers or the New England Patriots or Houston Texans. Can they rally to win a postseason game? Now, I didn't think it happened in the playoffs. It's the one-and-done system of the NFL. But that's the kind of situation where maybe it comes back to get them. They don't have the type of caliber players, or maybe have they proved enough?
He surprised me and impressed me because I thought you were going to go the Rookie of the Year debate, which has been an interesting one. And I think Griffin would win it if, it was the lower turnover number, the better rushing ability. Luck's been great. But in terms of the playoff ability, I still think it's the Redskins probably. I would still side with them over the Colts. The top-heavy AFC might be a little too much. The NFC to me is wide open. We don't know who would be in. If the Redskins were to get that number 4 seed, they'd be hosting a home playoff game. I think they could win a game a little easier than the Colts could.
Well, it's been remarkable to watch what both teams have done this season, and it's also a joy to fans. It's fun to talk about Bus, but we really don't like it when these rookies, flame out, and these two players have lived up to and exceeded very lofty expectations this year, and they've done so with supporting cast who had very low expectations. So it's been a lot of fun to watch these two teams. We'll continue to watch certainly the Colts through the postseason and maybe the Redskins as well. To see more of Eric's observations from Week 16, be sure to check out his Shorts and Shells column at our website, ProFootballWeekly.com.